You're looking at the Kemper Arena, Kansas City, Missouri, home of the 1988 Final Four basketball playoffs. But tonight, something more powerful than that. The Greater Kansas City Ford dealers present the Budweiser U.S. Hot Rod Truck and Tractor Pull Winter Nationals. Hello again, everybody. I'm Ken Brew, my partner Mike Galloway, and Mike, tonight, not only trucks, but tractors and the big cars.
Monsters, trucks, tractors, the Budweiser boss. And the tractors are going to be very exciting tonight. Many of the triple engine, numerous engines in each of the vehicles. The V12 Allison aircraft engines, not one, but a pair of those, alcohol fuel injected. Also a twin turbocharged Packard tractor. That should be very exciting. It's going to take a lot of horsepower to put it to the ground tonight. And the track, I believe, will get better as the evening goes along. It's a hard track. The traction's there. It's going to be a real tough night for pulling. These guys got to study their lesson.
The way you're talking, there's a good thing there's a roof on this place, or this building's liable to take off.
Boy, it could happen. With all the horsepower these people are putting together tonight, anything could go.
The Greater Kansas City Ford dealers present the Budweiser U.S. Hot Rod Truck and Tractor Pull Winter Nationals. Brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers, and proud sponsor of the 1988 U.S. Olympic team. For all you do, this Bud's for you. Well, there they are, side by side. It's the battle of the monster trucks. Bigfoot to your left and Barefoot to your right. How about it, Mike?
Well, it's going to be a very exciting competition. It's set up in 3 events. The sled pulling event will be done under a time situation. Then they'll do the wheel standing, crowd reaction on which one gets the highest, and then they'll finish up with a jump, one jumping the furthest. It's going to be very exciting monster truck competition, something new and fresh. There's the supercharged, alcohol-burning Chevrolet of Barefoot.
Wow, look at that angle shot.
Isn't that great? About 14,000 pounds of monster truck.
Oh.
Each tire and wheel weighing over 1,200 pounds. A new 88 Chevrolet watching as they get ready to drop the green flag. Here comes green. It's time.
Here we go.
Hooking up. Whoa.
No stopping that dog.
Topped the box on the sled, and Fred Schaefer handled it so well, shutting down way past the finish line. And beautiful job. Very, very exciting competition.
Let's look at it again. Little jerk off the start, but he really had the thing under control.
Look how high they pick the pan up. The front end comes up in the air and settles back down. This is 14,000 pounds of wheel standing monster truck. Watch the weight box, the big weight box rushing towards the front. It doesn't even slow this vehicle down. The finish line coming up. Fred shuts off. Topped out box. Beautiful job.
Boy, you know you had a good pull when you got to put the brakes on at the end.
Fantastic run.
Here is Bigfoot. Now, Barefoot has gone full tilt, so Bigfoot has got to do that here. He's going to hook up to the sled and let it wail.
The classic confrontation, Ford against Chevrolet, and both of them outstanding truck. 2 fine drivers. Good shot of Rich sitting behind the wheel of that supercharged Ford, getting ready to go the distance with the big blown motor. One of the finest running trucks. Also, you can get a shot there. It shows the roll bar. A lot of protection built into that truck. A lot of safety factors built into the truck.
You can really get knocked around inside one of those too, boy. You got to make sure you're strapped in.
Well, the drivers for Bigfoot actually have a therapist that come out and work with them in their shop a couple of days a week back in St. Louis.
Well, here comes Bigfoot.
Look at the wheeling.
Whoa!
Look at that. Holding it right there in the air.
Yeah.
And dropping it down on a truck.
Uh-oh.
Dropped it down on the front of a truck.
My goodness, it was spectacular. And then at the end, we got a little destruction. Let's take a look at Bigfoot.
Nails it off the line. The box coming up. Sled's getting heavy on him in a hurry. And right at the end, the box comes over and gets onto the pan. And when that happens, all the weight on the rear end, the truck lifts into the air. Now, over to the right front tire is the hood of one of the pulling trucks. And when he shuts it down and lets off of it,
look at those are the weights in the front, aren't they, Mike?
Can't really tell how much damage, but looks like he clipped it when he came down. Hopefully nothing severe enough to knock that competitor, Red Grogan, out of the competition tonight.
We'll be right back with more of the Winter Nationals in just a moment. 6,200-pound trucks, modified trucks. And our first out of the chute tonight will be Don Van Loo in Bad to the Bone. Don's out of Jefferson City, Missouri, and he's got a DOD, as he calls it, a darned old Dodge.
With a fuel-injected Hemi under the hood.
Yeah.
He's a veteran puller. He's been at it for quite some time.
Waiting for the green flag.
Bounced a little bit. He hammers it.
And a good first pull of the night. Don Van Loo in Bad to the Bone. And for Don Van Loo, a pretty good first pull. 167 feet, 3 3/4 inches in the Bad to the Bone. Next in line is Dan Dubes out of Freeport, Illinois, in an 83 Ford. This is Old Yeller, like the movie, huh?
Boy, this is a great running truck. This is a fantastic truck. Big Ford motor. Now, Dan built the truck a lot like an off-road racing truck. It's got all the roll cage in it, which incorporates into the frame, and it's making the whole truck work. Instead of just the frame work, it makes the whole truck do the job. Dan's been running this truck for quite some time. The engine in this truck built by his 17-year-old son. Watch it work.
That's a fine, fine pull.
Absolutely picture perfect for Old Yeller. Dan Dubes out of Freeport, Illinois, runs a service station there in Freeport.
Look at that. He knows it, too. You know he's taking that helmet off. He knows he's had a good run. Let's look at this again. He didn't miss a beat on this one.
It's picture perfect. He brings it out and goes to the left a little bit, and it skates right in that area. Front end's kind of getting around on it and up in the air a little bit, but his truck is hooked beautiful. Look at the dirt coming off of it. It's dialed in. Old Yeller, a beautiful pull.
Here is one amazing lady. This is Donna Webb. That is Donna as in female Webb. 74 Ford called Sudden Impact. Donna's from Claremore, Oklahoma, and there she is.
Well, she's a very good puller. She's consistent. This truck runs extremely well. Her husband built the truck. Donna does all the driving on it, and she's tough. She's going to be real tough.
Donna Webb is the lady behind the wheel of Sudden Impact. Our Mike Galloway had a chance to meet her.
I'm with Donna Webb, one of the ladies in the sport of pulling, and Donna drives a truck called Sudden Impact out of Claremore, Oklahoma. She and her husband campaign all over the country with this truck. And Donna, you do all the driving. How did you get involved in it?
My husband and I were involved in a four-wheel drive club, and we got to attending some local brush pulls with just our stock pickup, and he let me drive, and that was it. I was sold.
Do you drive all the time, or take turns?
No, sir. I drive all the time. He drove it the first 2 times after we got the truck built to just make sure it wasn't going to fall apart on me, and then he gave it to me.
Now, did you drive the truck? Did you build the truck for you to drive, or was it for him to drive?
No, it was originally intended for me to drive it.
Donna's sitting behind the wheel waiting for the green flag as they hitch on the sled.
Slack comes out of the chain, no jerk starts. You've got to leave with a tight or taut chain in pulling.
She's got the flag. And here we go. Boy, she was fighting that, wasn't she?
She was, and Donna went out of bounds with the truck, I do believe.
Looked like she kicked up some weight. Looked like she kicked up some chalk. Let's look at it again, Mike, and let's see where it went south for her.
Leaves with the truck, and the truck going to the right. Now, she's got the wheels cut to the left, but the truck's still trying to go to the right, pulling that wheel around, and you see Donna fighting it real hard. I mean, she's trying to bring it around, keep it in bounds, and she just nicks that white line. It's got chalk on the tire. What a telltale sign. Now, the measurement will be from the point where she went out of bounds, and then there'll be about a 30-foot penalty on that.
Well, she doesn't look very happy, and I know it didn't go as planned, but she did a heck of a job trying to keep it away from some of these other trucks that were parked on the side. We'll freeze it for you right here. You can see where the right tire is out of bounds, and because of that, only a pull of 130 feet and 1 inch tonight for Donna Webb. And now getting ready to go is Overdraw. This is Jerry Nichols with an 87 GMC. He's got a 557 Chevy with him. He is worth 8 months, he and his crew, night and day, rebuilding this engine. And Mikey tells me it came cheap, only about $13,000 to rebuild this entire truck.
One of the wonderful things about this crew is these guys are a group that put the truck together. They campaigned it as a group, and they do a very fine job. It is a beautiful truck. They're always very professional. Their crew, outstanding, and it's a good hook.
That could be in the money. That could be in the money.
It's a very fine job, an outstanding pull all the way down. Truck hooked up well. Maybe a little bit short on horsepower tonight, but a fine job for one called Overdrawn again. And I wonder if that tells us any story.
Jerry Nichols, there he is out of Indiana. Overdrawn again is not quite drawn far enough. Jerry Nichols out of Lowell, Indiana, 165 feet, 11 1/4 inches. And backing up and ready to go is the little hillbilly. It's an 87 Ford. Red Krogan behind the wheel. He's out of Clinton, Kentucky. He's got a couple of trucks here tonight, doesn't he?
Well, he's driving his own personal truck, and then he's got a truck that he will drive for Kenny Davis. And he hauls Kenny's truck and drives it. This is an aluminum 700+ cubic inch Ford.
700?
700 cubic inches plus.
Wow.
All aluminum Ford. A very exotic engine. Red has really and truly over the past few weeks been on a tear. He has definitely set the pace for the pulling at the current time.
This is what Bigfoot did to it a little while ago as he came down on top of the tank. But apparently Grogan has got it fixed, ready to go. We'll see if the little hillbilly can make it in the big city. Whoa!
The big Ford truck has gone to the lead, and he made it look so simple. He moved a little bit over. He's not on the left-hand side of the track. He was over in the middle much more. I think he got a lot better bite, and that's a good running truck.
And Mike, that's experience. He was behind the wheel. He knew exactly what the last couple of pulls had done. He knew where he wanted to pull.
Launches the truck with the truck pointed a little bit to the right. He's going to run that side of the track. He's down the middle, more to the right, and a beautiful job. It's wide open. It doesn't make a bobble. He blows by the leading mark and does a tremendous job.
There is the driver. There is the driver in this sport right there. He worked that track. He worked it like an artist. Brushing aside adversity, Red Grogan has stormed to the lead. 186 feet, 9.5 inches for the little hillbilly. Kansas City, Missouri. This is the Kemper Arena. And this is the Winter Nationals. And this is Wildfire, Gary Saline, Norfolk, Nebraska, 79 Ford, 600 cubic inch Bossborn engine. Yeah.
Shotgun Hemi. A shotgun Hemi Ford, and Gary Saline has just gone to the lead. The track.
The power on that, Mike, was incredible.
The track is changing.
Is the track changing in terms of texture after being dug up so much?
There's moisture coming out of the track. You notice Gary really hooks the truck hard, not taking any one thing away from Gary because he's a fine puller, a very good running truck, but the moisture is coming up in the truck and the track, and they're hooking much better than they were earlier. Saline doing a great job, really putting on a fine run right there at the end. Tremendous pull for Wildfire.
So in other words, unlike some tracks where the longer it goes on, the worse the track gets, the longer this competition goes on tonight, the better it is.
I believe you're going to see the track come completely around, get real good when this is over. It's good now, but I think it's going to be an excellent track when we finish up.
Well, right now, the second most famous person from Norfolk, Nebraska is Johnny Carson, because Gary Saline, same hometown, has taken the lead here with a pull of 188 feet, 9.25 inches. Our new leader, Gary Saline in Wildfire. And now trying to better that is a lady in an Aerostar. This is Pat Dupes, Freeport, Illinois. This is one of the Brewmobiles. We have one of these at home, but it doesn't look anything like that.
Probably doesn't run quite this well. Watch it. Look out. That lady's headed.
The Aerostar, the challenger, Pat Dubes from Freeport, Illinois. And we asked Pat Dubes what it's like to compete against your husband.
Pat, you pull against a lot of pullers, and it's always a joy to win. How does it feel when you beat your husband?
Oh, real nice.
Probably a little bit sweeter?
Yes, but, well, we've discussed it, and my truck should beat his truck because it's supposed to be new and improved, better ideas and things that he put into this truck, because his truck is about 4 years old. So my truck should do better than his truck.
Pat Dubes, Freeport, Illinois, in her Aerostar Challenger, 174 feet. Fine pull. Ron Brummel, Hinckley, Illinois. The truck, the Orange Crush, waiting for the green flag.
He's got the capabilities tonight. Now, he is trying the center of the track. Traction should be good there. It's been kind of loosened up, put back together. There's some moisture in it. Ron will come with the machine, and he will come hard.
It's a good pull, and he was fighting that one all the way, too. A little bit of a jumpy start, and then as we'll see on the replay, I think, Mike, the front wheels, he was really working those, too.
Ron had to fight the truck, but it really made some progress with it. He leaves good. The truck hooks up well, and that part of the track is showing some good traction right now. He's got a lot of ground speed. He's making some movement on the end of the track that's really exciting. He's not real close to the lead. He is right on the leader. We'll have to see exactly where he comes up tonight, but it's an excellent hook all the way around for Orange Crush.
Orange Crush, Ron Brummel, 186 feet, 8 1/4 inches. A fine pull. We talked about how he worked it, and he's worked his way into third place right now.
What they've done tonight is taken the top 3 competitors, the trucks that pull the furthest in the class, and those 3 trucks are coming back in a pull-off.
And when we come back, we'll have the pull-off. We've got 3 competitors, the Little Hillbilly, Red Grogan's truck, Gary Saline in Wildfire, and Ron Brummel in Orange Crush. All straight ahead. Stay tuned. All right, welcome back to the Kemper Arena. The modifieds have come down to 3. It's a pull-off. First up, Hillbilly. It's going to take something to beat that. A superb pull for Red Grogan. 191 3/4 in the pull-off. Grogan has set the standard. But now comes Wildfire. Wildfire had the best pull during regular competition, during the elimination. 188 feet, 9 1/4 inches. He has to beat Little Hillbilly, which has just run better than 191 feet. Wildfire.
Watch the Wildfire truck. Gary Saline has got a lot on the ball. This truck hooks well, and he will very possibly go past that mark of Red Grogan. True Red's mark is outstanding, but Gary Saline is a very good puller. Here we go.
And another good pull. Another good pull tonight for Saline.
He has set it right on the mark. Now, Little Hillbilly, 191 3/4 of an inch. If he beat him or was beaten, it's going to be a matter of inches, not feet.
We're splitting hairs on this one. The Wildfire, 190 feet, 7 3/8 inches. So Wildfire, at best now, can finish second. The Orange Crush has a chance to beat them both.
There's Red, the young gentleman in the orange, is with the Orange Crush truck. And Red's got one more truck to sweat through a pull.
Now it's up to the Orange Crush.
Watch Ron Brummel. He steadies the tack, brings it up, puts it on launch. Run with the sled. Watch the orange cone at the finish line area.
No, he's not going to do it. He is not going to do it. It is going to be the Little Hillbilly, the winner tonight. Despite the mishap with Bigfoot, Little Hillbilly is going to win this competition. All right, third place tonight to the Orange Crush. Wildfire finishes second with a 197 3/8 pull, and the winner, no doubt about it, Little Hillbilly, 191 3/4 inches with Red Grogan in the saddle, who is with us now live upstairs. Red, one whale of a run.
Well, I'm real pleased with it. The track is super good tonight, and it's taken a lot of power, and I had a lot of fast gears in the truck, and I was afraid it wasn't going to work, but it was too late to do anything about it. So if you noticed in the first pull, it bothered me a lot. I didn't get as far as I did in the pull-off, and I think the sled was set the same. But when I went back, I added a little bit of air, and I know that I really had to lean on it hard with that faster gear to ever get up. Even though it's a big engine, you can smother anything to death on a track this short and this good. So I just got out there and done the best I could do, and I'm real pleased with it.
Well, Red, it was a beautiful job. The truck hooked up right from the start. Let's take a look at it. Now, what's happening right here, Red?
Well, right there, you're going to see me lean on it hard right there, because I've always rolled this truck. You see the butterflies wide open and the injectors there. And the accident tonight hurt the truck a little. I've got a frame bent. All wheels is not touching the ground equal. And I really felt like it really hurt me. But I had a whole lot to do right here. You can see the right-hand side kind of sinking, and that's really pulling the power out of me. So I just took her as far as I could go.
But getting christened by Bigfoot might have been a blessing in disguise, though, huh?
Well, yeah, well, if anybody was going to run over me, I'd want it to be Bigfoot. Yes, sir.
Red Grogan, a champion tonight, and a beautiful pull. Red, thank you very much for coming up and being with us.
Appreciate being here.
All right, now our next competition will be tractor pulling. Tractors out on the dirt here from Kansas City. Well, welcome back to Kemper Arena here in Kansas City, Missouri, as the Budweiser U.S. Hot Rod Truck and Tractor Pull Winter Nationals continue.
You know, I've seen this truck run probably 200 times, and I would drive several hundred miles to watch it run any day of the week. It's that exciting. This is the most exciting four-wheel drive vehicle ever built.
This is the four-wheel drive vehicle. This is the Budweiser Boss. Tell me about it, Mike.
Gary Collins, El Dorado Springs, Missouri. Two Keith Black Hemis setting crankshaft to crankshaft. There's his helper, Ray, rolling the slack out of it. You saw him hold up 4 fingers there, making sure Gary's got it in four-wheel drive before he leaves with the sled. Blowers are turning. This is a walk in the park for Gary Collins. You watch the weight box as he goes down the track. Gary is on the front. Look out.
Whoa!
I wasn't sure he was going to stop. He was probably running 45 miles an hour at mid-track with the Boss. And I mean, he never mashed the motors that hard.
A walk in the park and a picnic all in one for Gary Collins and the Budweiser Boss. And the crowd is standing.
That is one awesome piece of machinery.
You're right, boy. I knew Gary knew what he was doing, but I wasn't so sure sitting up here.
Watch him. He's going to drive right into your couch. Gary Collins, Budweiser Boss. He sets the tires ablaze. And look at him go. About half track, he's still hooking up. And Gary sees it. Well, I've already done everything I need to do. He backs out of the throttle ever so gently, shutting down right before that big Ford sign on the end. You know, that thing is, the sign has got to look 5 miles wide when you're going at it at 40 miles an hour.
Yep. Look at how close he came to the end.
Well, Gary has driven the truck since it was brand new. He built the truck himself, and he knows the capability of the truck. Got a pretty good idea of what it's going to do when it shuts down. He's just awesome.
We have seen the trucks stand by for the tractors. You heard a tractor pulling. That's what we're going to get tonight. A lot of times you don't see tractors at big events. This is a big event. It's got the tractors.
7,200-pound modified dragster tractors, and you are looking at one of the toughest in the nation. Their sets, 2 1,710 cubic inch Allison aircraft engines. They're both on alcohol. They're both fuel injected. That is Wayne Longnecker out of Cambridge, Iowa. He is a veteran puller that goes back 15 years or better.
What are the flares now? What's happening? Why do we see those little flames coming up?
It's excess alcohol coming out of the engine. They're alcohol burners, and he's burning off some excess fuel. When it comes out to the atmosphere, it'll ignite. It's just burning off gases.
Got you. This is the River Rat. It is one, I mean, you do not plow the North 40 with that thing. This is strictly competition.
48 spark plugs. Now, this engine was designed in the 30s. They've told him to shut it down. There's a red light on the sled. They've told him to shut the tractor down. It's some kind of a malfunction somewhere, and Wayne does an excellent job. He shuts the motor down immediately.
Mike, I think we may have to send out for another six-pack. That Bud Boss shook these cans so hard, they may be ready to pop the top.
Well, I believe they're a little foamy. They're going to have to get up and reposition them. Gary hooked up so well and went so fast, they actually vibrated off to the side. They shut down the tractor so they could realign the Budweiser six-pack and tie it back down to the top of the sled.
My goodness.
Well, Wayne fires the motors, and we're just about ready to go with the River Rat. Wayne Longnecker out of Cambridge, Iowa. Two V12 Allison aircraft engines. They were designed in the early 30s, and they are modern technology today. There's overhead valves. There's two intakes, two exhaust valves per cylinder. There's two magnetos on it, firing 24 spark plugs. Watch it work. Tires are lit.
Wow.
That is a full pull, no doubt about it. And Wayne actually watched and drove by. He was not stopped. He backed out of it.
Wow. That was fury, and it's still spitting fire. That was one whale of a pull. And
now,
they both hooked up this time.
Watch the tires. Both of the tires are going to hook this time. He's probably got about a 90-mile-an-hour tire speed. He's actually growing the tires. He's spinning them so fast. He picks the front end up just right. He's patting the ground a couple of times. He's got the rate transfer perfect on it. Now watch this. He goes and he's watching the flagman. I'm not backing right there. We'll just shut it down.
That's a pro.
It is a pro, and that's a beautiful run.
Let me tell you, that's no rat. That's a thoroughbred. Wayne Longnecker with a 2:11.4 for a first pole is a pretty decent mark to try and match. We'll with more of the Winter Nationals in just a moment.
Motor Rock 1 Monster Madness. Now take home all the earth-shaking, ground-pounding action of United States Hot Rod Circuit of Stars, including the King of the Beats, Bigfoot, in action to the hottest stereo soundtrack. Only $14.95 plus $3 shipping and handling. To charge your copy to Visa or MasterCharge, call 1-800-423-0471 or send your money order to Monster Madness, 3650 Annapolis Lane, Plymouth, Minnesota. Take home the best of motorsports. Motor Rock 1 Monster Madness. Get yours now.
We're in Kansas City, Missouri, and this is the Kemper Arena. We are at the Winter Nationals truck and tractor pull. We are right smack dab in the middle of the tractor competition. Ron Washkow is the next one up in Top Gun. His wife is Carol. This is not only a sport, it's an emotional roller coaster. She not only has a husband who pulls, she has a son who pulls. It's a family affair, and Mike Galloway is right in the middle of it.
I'm with another one of the ladies of pulling. And that's Carol Warshkow out of Iowa. And Carol, you're involved in a much different way. You have a husband and a son competing against each other.
That's right. Myself and my daughter are the chief scrubbers, you might say, the shiners, the gophers, and they do all the driving.
Now, how long have you been involved with it? How long have you and your husband traveled?
Oh, we started probably about 20 years ago, just in county fair level, and he's just worked his way up to being a professional puller, you might say.
Your son taken over one of the older tractors about a year ago?
Yeah, he's been pulling for a year now, and he's been doing real good with it. He really likes the sport. Of course, he can't help but it. He's been raised tractor pulling, so it's in his blood, definitely.
He turns the tires hard and leaves like a rocket. And I think he set it out of bounds.
Yeah, I was going to say a heck of a pull, and you can still see some of that alcohol burning off. But as Mike mentioned, he may have hit the chalk line on the far side and came real close to some of those four-wheel drive vehicles.
He drifted to the left-hand side, and he wanted to stay off the brakes just as long as possible. Right there is where it starts hard. He's got the tires cut, sets it down, but it doesn't stay down long enough to keep him off of it. Now, right there, you see the official behind. It looks like he took off his cap and marked it, and that's where it went out of bounds. And we'll see what happened. Well, they're going to have to wait and get an official ruling. It looks like he may have kept it in bounds.
If he did, it's a heck of a pull, I'll tell you that. Well, the top gun tonight wasn't Tom Cruise. It was Ron Washkow out of Iowa Falls, Iowa, with a pull of 205 feet and 1/8 inch, and that's good enough to move him into second place.
Well, there's Ron discussing it with one of the other drivers. He kept it inbounds. From our vantage point, it looked like he might have drifted out, but the official right there on top of it, he said everything was all right. And there's Ron, his wife, his young daughter, and his son. So they're all getting ready to pull their second tractor.
And we move on to the Persuader.
19-year-old Troy Washkow, his father, driving the twin Allison. Troy making a charge on it. He's pumping up the brakes, making sure they're just right. As the front end comes up, that'll be the only way he has to control it. Brings the power up and hammers it. It's right. I'm telling you, Troy making a great pass.
Mike, the force of the Persuader so intense that it literally is bringing down the house.
Troy, very good run going all the way down, getting all the power he can get out of it, but look to the right-hand side of the screen as the box comes up and tops. There it is.
Yep.
A ceiling tile has been dislodged from its resting place by the force of the exhaust out of the Persuader.
Wow. That falling from the roof here of the Kemper Arena, a lightweight ceiling tile blown free by the force of the Persuader, and there is where it rested.
Ken, we might also add that that thing probably doesn't weigh a half a pound.
Yeah.
It's harmless as it floats down and rests on the back of a truck. Fort Recovery, Ohio. Milt has a pair of tractors here, each one of them with two V12 Allisons. This is his oldest tractor that has been converted. Originally ran an Allison and two Oldsmobiles on it and set out over the front axle. Now he's changed it all around, added another axle or another motor, and sets back over the axle. So it's quite a lot of work done to it. Milt is a truly designing genius. He does a lot of this. He does all this himself.
The last couple of pulls haven't been. How much bigger? I'm going to say the last couple of pulls have drifted to the right. This time he keeps it pretty much dead center.
Milt had a motor go sour on it, had fuel problems. You see the black smoke puff out of it as it went down the track, and that's just showing you that he's probably pumping too much fuel in the cylinders. Part of it's not burning, and it puffs out the smoke. They're flooding the cylinders on it. It just didn't run well. Watch the back motor, and I think that's where it is. You see some black smoke coming out of the cylinders. He's flooding the engine down and smothering it down. Too much fuel in it, and it's not hooking up.
Boy, you call that right. Look at that black smoke.
He's also got a bent wheel on the left front of it.
So for Milt Bergman from Fort Recovery, Ohio, a pull tonight of 149 feet and 11 inches. Not going to make it tonight. The River Rat has set the standard.
I'm with Dave Rush, and Dave drives a tractor that's a little bit different in the power plant division. Dave, what kind of engine?
A Packard.
A Packard. Now, like a car Packard?
No, these Packards were used in PT boats in World Wars.
Now, it's a big motor. It's even larger than the Allison V12 engines. How many cubic inches?
2490. It's all fabricated. We're running injection. It was basically made on our own bases. It's with Hillborn nozzles and air research turbos.
Where do you get parts for a Packard that powered a PT boat during World War II?
I have an uncle that sells parts, Packard parts.
You have a lot of them at home?
At the time, there's enough parts to probably build at least 25 more motors.
Originally, as Mike pointed out in his interview with Dave, built for a PT boat, and now a tractor.
Sneezing a little bit. having a little fuel distribution problems, I believe, with it. He's still getting some bugs worked out of it. And he's the only man that we know of at this time that is running this kind of setup on a Packard. It's sneezing. It's what the people or the pullers call it. You see it just kind of hesitate a little bit and get a little backfire out of it. And when it does, the power drops and goes away from it. And it, much like a sneeze, picks up and runs again. I think it's a fuel distribution problem. I look for him to get it worked out. When that happens, watch him. He's going to be there.
The U.S. Hot Rod Truck and Tractor Pull Winter Nationals continue now. This is Ken Brew along with Mike Galloway. Earlier we saw the Rambunctious. Here is the new and improved Rambunctious. Milt Bergman behind the wheel. He hasn't done changes since he last ran. This is another tractor that he's got here tonight.
He's got 2 throttles on it. Now here's the man I think has the capabilities of running with Wayne Longnecker, the River Rat.
Boy, you got that right.
Smoked the tires all the way down to the concrete. He's probably within a very few feet of a wall, but Milt Bergman, all the faith in the world on the sled rider, and he runs it right to the wall. He said, I've got to win it, and here's what he had to do to get there.
From about 160 feet on, that six-pack was all the way up at the top of the sled.
Milt comes quickly. He's got a very tall gear in it. Front end is up. It's good balance on it. All the motors are working extremely hard, and he has really got the hammer down on these Allison. A good hook. I mean, it's excellent all the way down. A tremendous job. Milt Bergman, I'm sure, has taken the lead tonight.
Dick Seapack, giant puller tires. You can't win without them.
Just smoking the tires right there with all the way to the concrete.
There he is, Milt Bergman, the new and improved Rambunctious. The final tally is in. 3rd place, Ron Washkow, Top Gun. 2nd place, Wayne Longnecker and River Rat. And the winner in new and improved Rambunctious, Milt Bergman. Say hello to Milt right now. Milt, you get a run at 2:11 right off the top by River Rat, and the heat's on for everybody, isn't it?
That's true. I honestly didn't think it would work that late in the class. I thought the track is deteriorated enough that it wouldn't work. And Ron is tough.
Well, he sure is.
Well, they're both tough. Milt, we're going to watch this on replay, and maybe you can go through it with us a little bit.
Really, it's a hard track, so at about 5 feet, you know everything's working. You just more or less nail it. And hope you can hold it on the center of the track. Thing to point out is somewhere around 120, 130 foot, I had to bump a brake. It brought the front end down. Then after that, I felt a chatter. And I was really worried about the chatter, but it kept pulling. It just kept lingering. It's amazing. It just wouldn't stop there, would it?
Milt, the last 50, 60 feet of this pole, you've got the 6-pack all the way at the top of the sled. You did a lot of work there at the end of that pole.
Yes, but to get that 6-pack going down there, you've got to really get it going at this end. The whole shot is really important.
Milt, did you feel the box top?
No, I didn't. Right around, I say 120, 130 foot, I was trying to decide to hit the brake, how much to hit it, and I think that's about when the box was topping, and I really wasn't paying attention to that part of it.
When you touch the brake, very crucial point, because you don't want to get on it too hard.
That's right. If you hit it too hard, you aren't going to make it to the other end, but you've got to keep it in bounds. You can't get too close, and you have to hit it real hard, and when you're real close, and then you're hurting.
222 feet, you couldn't have gone much further. I mean, you were kissing the wall.
Really?
Yeah, you were.
You don't look at that part.
No?
No.
Milt, what kind of tire speed were you trying to run tonight?
Tonight, everything was running good. It was between 100 and 105. I think the RPMs are well up there.
Milt Bergman, the winner tonight, and a gracious man and a good job.
And you're saying, Ken, what kind of oil does he use? He uses Kendall oil, the exclusive choice for many of the nation's top truck and tractor pull competitors. I don't think this truck needs any introduction, but I'm going to give it to you anyway. The legendary Bigfoot. And right now we are smack dab in the middle of the battle of the monster trucks.
This beautiful Ford truck is probably the most recognized motor vehicle in America. Rick Hoosier doing the driving tonight, and a fantastic job in a beautiful 1987 Ford truck called Bigfoot. This is in phase 2 of our monster truck competition as he gets ready to attack the cars. And Rich, he attacks the cars. He doesn't drive over them. He really and truly attacks the cars. Whoa, look at that!
Yeah!
Rip roaring and riding. I mean, like a rocket, straight up in the air.
Man, this man is loaded for bear, as in barefoot. He's going to come back and make another pass.
The front and rear steering is working on it real well, and it's helping him turn in these tight places.
He's going to turn around and make another pass. On his license plate, Mike, is MTRA. What does that mean?
Well, that's a Monster Truck Racing Association, the organization that's recently been formed through a joint effort of many of the top monster truck owners. And it's just intended to make them safety conscious. Look at this.
Wow. Wow. Kind of like a fraternity then, huh?
Well, it is, and it's to establish safety standards and equipment and rules and guidelines for monster truck racing. You know, this monster truck business has got way beyond just crushing cars. They're doing some heavy-duty racing right now, and these people are joining together to form an organization to make it safe.
Look at this angle. That's looking up at the big guy.
Well, Rich, of course, dressed in a total fire suit, a helmet, and there you can see in the corner of the windshield post the roll cage that's been incorporated into that truck. He's backing it all the way to the wall, and he's going to shut it down for a few minutes, and they're going to bring out the other monster truck doing battle with him tonight.
Well, that's barefoot.
One thing about it, we mentioned earlier, they're conditioning the bodies of the drivers of the Bigfoot monster truck so that the torture that they go through when they do this stuff won't hurt them at a later date. There is the awesome barefoot. Listen to the sound of that engine, a supercharged alcohol burner. Fred will lay it all on the line tonight.
First pass at the
He'll
car.
go for it. Nosed over, and I mean destroying the cars.
I would say destroyed would be a good word to use.
He's gonna do a little backup wheelie, and he's famous for this. Look at that. Oh, he's got it off on one side. Slid off of the car. Stayed on the throttle, though, and that pulled him back around and kept him from going over.
Kind of close.
It was a very close call. Fred's going to back up, line up a little bit straighter, and he's going to go for it. This will be the one I think you're going to really see Fred put an effort on this jump. I think he's really going to get out there and get after this wheelie. Look at that motor torque when he just touches the throttle. Instant response.
Here we go.
He's hammering it. Look at that.
Oh!
He is honestly all over it. Fred Schaefer is putting on a program here tonight. Carried the front tires. He just jerked a wheelie. A 14,000-pound truck actually lifted the front tires off the ground.
Barefoot has shut down, and the gauntlet has been dropped to Bigfoot.
There's Fred. Stepping out of the truck, stepping up on top of it. This crowd is really, really excited about that. Look at the height that Fred is. Look how high he's up in the air, and he's actually just standing on the back of the truck.
There is Barefoot, mascot.
Now, the Barefoot actually comes from a couple of bears. He has a couple of black bears at his home in Granite City, Illinois, called Sugar and Spice.
Now, you're not putting me on.
No, this is true, and this is where the name Barefoot comes from. He has two 6-foot-tall black bears, Sugar and Spice, in Granite City, Illinois.
And he's got the crowd in a frenzy right now. This is called playing to the house.
Well, they're loving it. And it's been a great night of competition all the way around. Freddie lines up, and he's getting everything on go for this awesome and unbelievable truck. and I believe he's going to put a jump on for us.
Look at the angle here, and then look at the driver with the neck brace on. He is going to back it up as far as he could go for another pass at what lies in center field.
He is going to try to jump. See how many cars he can jump. And I believe they're going to take the distance off of the front tires. Off of the front tires. Neck brace, shoulder harness in place. This has got to be hard on a person's body.
He has got to jostle around inside that something fierce, regardless of the straps and everything.
Here he goes. He's going for it. Look at that. Just tremendous effort, jumping several cars.
But Bigfoot has still yet to be heard from.
Well, Rich is lining up right this moment. He's got to go further. The way I saw it, looked like that Barefoot landed on the red Plymouth, of what's left of a red Plymouth on trackside.
That's good. That's what's left of a red Plymouth.
Well,
look at that.
The first car is acting as a launching ramp.
Right.
There's tires that have been ripped off of it. Of course, the roof is gone and has been since they first attacked these cars. Rick strapped in and getting ready to go. This is it. This is the jump. He's not letting up. He cleared him. He cleared him. Can he shut it down? He did it. He did it. What a jump. What a way to finish the competition. What a tremendous effort for the man with the Bigfoot truck.
Unbelievable. A flying start and a flying finish. So in the monster truck competition, the sled pulling goes to Barefoot. The wheel standing to Barefoot as well. A big finish for Bigfoot in the jumping, but the overall monster truck winner tonight, Barefoot. The Greater Kansas City Ford dealers have presented the Budweiser U.S. Hot Rod Truck and Tractor Pull Winter Nationals. Brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers, and proud sponsor of the 1988 U.S. Olympic team. For all you do, this Bud's for you. This has been a presentation of Bud Sports through the facilities of ESPN.